right, this video is about simple interest. This is very, very important when it comes to credit cards, when it comes to bank accounts. We're going to do simple interest here today. Of course, in real life, there's such a thing called compounded interest as well, but we're going to focus on simple interest, okay? But know that it deals with money, and it's extremely important how much money you're paying or how much money you're earning, okay? There's quite a few vocabulary words. Make sure you have a good calculator. Doesn't have to have any fancy buttons, okay? Make sure you write down the vocabulary words here along with their definitions. Interest is how much money you're going to earn. You put your money in the bank. That's the principal. You put it in the bank, and it stays there. It doesn't just stay in the back in a vault. The bank will take your money and invest it and try to earn some money for themselves, and they'll give you a little bit as well. For the privilege of the bank holding onto your money, they give you a little bit of interest. It's kind of like a payment for letting them borrow your money, okay? Interest is the amount that you earn. Principal is how much money you put into the bank. The rate is how much the bank is going to pay you for the use of your money. Usually it's a pretty small percent, maybe like 5%, 7%, something like that, 3%. Okay? Time is you have to leave it in there for how many years, okay? That's important to keep track of. Make sure your time is always years, okay? We'll talk about in class what happens if you don't have a whole year. How would you put that in? All right. Let's do some problems together. All right. Yes, I do want you to pause the video and write down the entire word problem. It's going to be important for you to look back on, okay? So make sure you pause the video, write down the whole problem, and then come on back and we'll do it together. All right. This first one, Michelle invested $5,000 with an interest rate of 4.8%. See how small that is? So Michelle gave the bank $5,000. The bank took that $5,000 and invested it and used it. And Michelle is getting an interest rate. She's getting a little bit of money because the bank is using hers. Okay? How much interest is she going to earn after 2 years? All right, this is the formula that we're going to use. I for interest, P for principal, R for rate, and T for time in years. So always write your formula first. Let's fill in what we know. We don't know the interest. That's what we're trying to find. We do know how much money she put in the bank. We know the interest rate. Notice I've changed that to a decimal. Make sure you change all percents to a decimal. Okay? And then how many years? All right? We're just going to multiply that in your calculator. Go ahead and multiply 5,000 times 0.048. I moved the decimal 2 places. Times 2. What did you get? Did you get $480? All right, so she put $5,000 in the bank. The bank said, hey, thanks for letting me use your money. And because I'm using your money, I'm going to give you $480 because I got to use your money for 2 years. So how much money does she have now? She gave them $5,000. She got $480. So we can add those together, and that tells us a new balance, doesn't it? Now, she has more than $5,000. She has $5,000, 480. All right. Go ahead and write down this example. Pause the video if you need to. Zach invested $200. He gave the bank $200 to borrow, to use, and to hold on to for him. The bank said, great, thank you so much for letting me use your money, and I'm going to pay you an interest rate of 7% because I got to use your money. How much interest would he earn if you left it in there for 4 years? Sounds like a lot of time, but let's say you put some money in now and you took it out in high school, or you took it out right before college. All right, interest, we don't know the interest. How much did he put in? The rate. Change that to a decimal. Do you know what that would be? Remember, you got to move it over 2 spaces because percent is out of 100. So it's 0.07, right? And then how many years? 4. All right, multiply that out and see what you get. I got 56. Did you get 56? He's getting $56 in interest because he let the bank borrow his money. Okay? To find the balance, you would say, gosh, I started with $200, but the bank gave me a little bit of extra. So the balance, you add them together, The balance is going to be $200 plus the $56 in interest. Okay? All right? Again, pause the video and copy down the examples. It'll only take you a minute, but it'll really help you when you go to study. All right, Sally invested some money in a mutual fund. It's a type of bank account, essentially. Her interest rate was 11.73% for 4 years. She earned $11,000 in interest. Wow, if that's what the bank gave her in interest, can you imagine what she started with? How much did she start with? So here I've written down my formula. Do you see how I wrote in what I already know? I know how much she got in interest. I don't know how much she started with. The rate, notice I moved the decimal over 2 places, right? 0.1173. And how many years? 4. All right, so we got to use our algebra now, right? All right, so first we want to put together these 2 numbers. So I'm going to rewrite everything else. All right, we put those together. And don't round. Go ahead and keep it the way it is. All right, what's the opposite of timesing? That by P, it's dividing, right? So we're going to divide. There's your algebra. All right, round to the nearest penny if you have to. Whoops, I put the comma in the wrong spot. 672. I'm not doing too good at copying here. And 4 cents. That's what I have on my paper here. $29,672.04. All right, same thing. Go ahead and try this one. Here you're solving for the time. How many years? So fill in what you know. Pause the video. Try it on your own. Give it a shot. Even if you get it wrong, it's okay. You have an eraser. You can always erase it. All right. Here's what I have. 1,339.52 was the interest. We know she put in $5,000. We know the interest rate. Again, notice the decimal. We need to know the time. So you want to multiply these 2 together first. And I got 669.76. All right, and the opposite of multiplying, dividing. I hope you divided. T equals how many years? 2. 2 years. Really, this all comes down to taking the formula, filling in what you know, and then solving. Sometimes that just means multiplying 3 numbers together to get the interest. Sometimes you got to do your algebra steps in order to find a missing piece of information. Here we wanted to know how much did she put into the bank, what was the principal. Here we wanted to know how much time she left the money in the bank. Here we wanted to find T. So you're going to have to be able to use your algebra to solve some of these as well. We'll go ahead and do some more practice problems in class. The key to all of this is this formula right here. Put a big star around it in your notes, and I'll see you soon.